my world got real dark. An affair, addictions, problems, chaos. I didn't know what to do. I was millions of dollars in debt. I didn't know how to fix my situation.
Completely lost in that
Completely
time.
lost. Everything I built was gone. My personal wealth, my business wealth, everything was destroyed. And this was all on me. I didn't see my son for 10 years.
Meet Garrett J. White, former banker, failed entrepreneur, lost husband, absent father.
He hit rock bottom, broke, addicted, alone. Then something shifted. He stopped lying, started listening, and built Wake Up Warrior into a $100 million movement that's redefined masculinity for over 100,000 men.
This isn't motivation, this is transformation, and Garrett's story might just change yours.
I got there to the $28 million house and the supercars in the garage, and sex was on fire with my wife, and I had the fit body and I had the things, and I still felt lost.
What is your biggest challenge and what is your biggest mistake in your life?
For sure. Two things.
What's going on, friends? Thank you so much for tuning in for another great episode of Tom Talk Success, where we bring you a lot of different entrepreneurs throughout the whole world to really, take you guys to the next level, really show you guys what is it about guest speaker that really made him successful. And so today I had a true pleasure to introduce Garrett White. Garrett, thank you so much, brother, for coming on the pod. If you can give the audience like a minute about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah. So I'm the founder of Wake Up Warrior, the initiator of the industry of masculinity. So long before it became popular, talk about authenticity, empowering men, speaking truth into men, we knew this needed to happen. And I had built a world that was fantastic, but it was driven only by money. God ripped that away from me because I was not prepared to have this. For 4 years, after 10 years, a decade as a banker and a real estate investor, my world got real dark. An affair, addictions, problems, chaos, and my wife was pregnant with our second daughter. I found a way, and I had this concept. I said, could it be possible for a man? I was your age. I was a little bit older than you. I was 31 when I lost my first round of businesses. Wow. And at that point, I was like, there has to be a way as a man to be able to be a great businessman and make money, be fit physically, be connected to God, and be deeply, passionately in love with your wife in communication, sex, intimacy, and be an amazing father. I didn't know anyone who had done this. I just had mentors in the business world who were whores for money, cheated on their wives, were into drugs, and so that was the world that I followed. I didn't know any other world. But I knew there had to be something different. So I was led by this voice inside of me, I wouldn't have called it God at the time, to create a game.
Wow. What is it about you that, saw God within you?
Well, I at that time I didn't. Like, I got crushed and I started feeling things, right? I got into ultra running after I'd lost my first companies. I had nothing to do. I didn't know what to do. I was millions of dollars in debt. I didn't know how to fix my situation.
Completely lost in that time.
Completely lost. Everything I built was gone. My personal wealth, my business wealth, everything was destroyed. And this was all on me. I thought I was an entrepreneur. I was a hitman.
Wow.
I was a great salesperson, but I was not a great entrepreneur. I was not a great leader. And I would go ultra running. I'd gotten into marathons in 2004. I got into Ironmans in 2005, competed in the world championships in 2007. By 2008, lost everything. By 2009, I was running ultras. And ultras are 100-mile, 150-mile races.
That's huge, man.
And I would run 10 to 15 miles. And about that time, it gets irritating to listen to music, to listen to podcasts, to listen to anything. So I would take my headphones off, and there was just me back in the mountains running on these trails by myself. And this voice started talking to me inside.
So was it about taking some time off, or I'm just trying to figure out what kind of help you, you were dealing with a lot of struggle at that time.
Tons of struggle.
And I guess, what would you tell to the people that go through the same struggle and feel like their life is just completely lost? And sometimes even in those situations, your wife could be, cheating on you, leaving you, the kids is living in you, and it seems like everything is just falling on you. Like, if you're just in that position, what can you do?
Tell the fucking truth.
Wow.
So the challenge we have anytime, men winning or not winning, is the fact that we lie. Men have been trained to lie. Women have been trained to lie. Humanity has been trained to lie. We lie about where we are. We lie about what we want. And when we lie about where we are, we can never be truthfully committed to what we say we want, because what we say we want is coming from a foundation of fiction. It's fiction. And so our future can always only be a fantasy. So the woman that you want, the business that you want, the life that you want is rooted in the foundation of truth. Now, what I found with truth, and that's all I had. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any networks. I didn't have any. I was done. I had nothing, but I had this one thing, and that's what this voice in me. I started feeling this running deep into the woods, into the mountains. the Rocky Mountains by myself, sweating, all of my ego asleep. And this voice would come out. And the first thing it was teaching me was, stop fucking lying. Tell the truth about where you are to yourself. Stop pretending your life is working. It's not.
I guess when were you lying? Like, how does lying to yourself look like?
You ignore reality. When you ignore that your marriage is not working, you ignore that the women you're dating are nonsense. You keep pretending that the world you're creating makes sense. You don't listen to yourself and you ignore the fruit of your creation. So I had to be responsible. I crushed my businesses. I had the affair. I was the problem. I created the life that I was living. And there I was, broke and destitute, and I created that also. I created the first empire and I lost it. There's no one to blame for that. It was me. I didn't have an affair because my wife wasn't sleeping with me. I had an affair because I couldn't lead my wife. I couldn't tell the truth. Wow. I couldn't speak the truth to my wife. But I could speak it to this other woman, but I couldn't speak it to her. That's fucking so weak, but that was where I was. I didn't see my son for 10 years. I abandoned my son from my first relationship from the time he was 6 until he was 16. I didn't call him. I didn't text him. I didn't message him. I didn't reach out to him, nothing. What kind of fucking piece of shit father does that? But I did it. I was a cheater. I'd abandoned my children. I was an addict. I did these things. This was who I was.
Why do you think it's like your life, or was it about you that led you to those situations where you were kind of in that? Like, I'm sure a lot of the audience be like, you know what, but what kind of led you? Like, why do you think kind of your life went to that route?
Because I couldn't tell the truth. People can't tell the truth. See, when we speak truth, all of a sudden we open up. What's available with truth is God. Now, I didn't know this. I didn't understand this. When we lie, we disconnect ourselves from the voice of God inside of us. The voice of God, you call it your conscience, is constantly guiding you right now and me. God has never left us. We are in this place with a God ever present in us. God is in us, speaking to us. Our conscience is speaking to us. It's telling us, don't go out with that girl. Don't fuck that girl. Don't make that business decision. Don't do this. And instead of listening, God, pussy's too good. The deal seems too great. This could be my magic game trick. I'm going to get the hot Colombian girl and I'm going to get the big lucky deal in crypto. And then you realize that the girl you thought you had now tried to stab you in the fucking neck while you were sleeping, and the crypto deal, you just lost your money and all your friends. And now you're sitting there going, fuck. And then you blame, she's a crazy bitch. No, you're a fucking crazy asshole for dating her. You're the one that decided to put your penis in that vagina. You're the one that decided to put your money in that gambling deal. Unless crypto is your full-time game, what the fuck are you doing in crypto? Just chasing lucky money, just like you chase a whore or stripper. Like, this game itself is hard because men have to come to a reality that a part of us desires to fuck our life up. We have a piece in all of us that just wants to burn shit to the ground. It's an addiction. Burn to the ground. Burn. That's why dudes will build, burn, build, burn, build, burn.
Why do you think men being like that for so long? For so long, man is trying to always impress, impress the girls, impress their business partner, impress just other people. Why? What is it about them that they don't have like self-confidence? When in your position in your life, you said, you know what, I'm not impressing anymore. Nobody. I'm proud of who I am.
That takes work. So you go back to the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, all of creation, God goes through all creation. And one of the first things he does is he speaks light or truth into darkness. So we've been taught to run from darkness. We've been taught to be afraid of darkness. The church has taught us this, schools have taught us this, parents have taught us this, the government has taught us this, even though darkness exists in all these places. It exists in the church, it exists in the schools, it exists in our parents, it exists in the government, it exists in us. You and I both have the capacity in us to be pedophiles. If we gave ourselves permission to go down this path, we're fucking kids. We have the possibility to rape women. We have the possibility to just blatantly kill random people. This is in us. It's all our potential. We can be murderers, rapists, and pedophiles, thieves, looters, moochers, and victims. We can choose that path, just like a fat, obese man could choose to be obese, or he can choose to be jacked. Both of these are choices. The difference between the fat, obese guy and the jacked guy was one decision. The difference between the dude who's committed in his marriage and the dude who cheats all the time is a decision. All of this is in us. All of it. I could punch my wife in the fucking face. I have that in me. She's 5'2", 105 pounds. I'd end this woman. She's tiny. I could pick her up on my shoulders and throw over the balcony. She couldn't even stop it. Right? And At the same time, I could be the guardian protector of this woman. I can use her for sex to just please myself, or I can have passionate lovemaking and fucking with this woman that I love and make her feel edified and built up from it. It was hard for me to accept this, and men have a hard time accepting that they are darkness and they are light. Adam was the first liar. Lying is in our DNA. What did Adam lie about? Whether you're Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, the origin of Genesis begins in creation, and all religions believe in this one truth. The Torah, whether you're dealing with the Torah, you're dealing with your Christian, dealing with the full Bible, it doesn't matter. We go back. This is why I love the Old Testament, because it unifies all of us. Adam falls. What's Adam's fall? God says, you are my children. You are what you are. I birthed you into abundance. Now create. Go multiply and replenish the earth. Create in abundance. Adam makes a decision. Eve says, eat this apple. She decides for whatever reason. I imagine Garrett J. White translation of the Bible. He's going, she's got nice tits. I really like that vagina. She's promised we're going to have some fun with an apple. You know, I'm down with that apple sex game. Let's go. So they have their little shoo-rah, and they eat the apple, and they do whatever they're doing. Then he feels ashamed and embarrassed of his nakedness.
Wow.
Adam was embarrassed of what was dark in his decisions. So what does he do? He covers himself with fig leaves and he hides from God. Then when God confronts him and says, Adam, where are you? Adam comes out. He's like, I was naked, and so I hid from you. And God's like, well, who told you were naked? Well, the woman thou gavest me, she gave me the fruit and told me to eat it. There he is, blaming his wife. Dudes have been taught to lie and blame their wives, or lie and blame women for all of their problems from the beginning of creation. Wow. So when you own the truth, hey, listen, hey, I ate the apple, okay? She presented the idea. She followed my lead. We ate the apple. We had great sex while eating the apple. Now I'm feeling a little bad about the fact that I made her eat the apple with me while we were having sex. It's my fault. I'm accountable. I did this. Nope, she did it. The woman he gave me, it's her fault. So I kept blaming everyone. Business problems weren't my fault. They were somebody else's. My marriage problems were my wife not wanting to have sex with me. That was her fault. She just doesn't want to have sex with me. How the fuck? Look at me. How could you not want to have sex with me? I kept blaming everybody, because the natural default when we lie is we project. And we're in a society of gaslighters, victims, and entitlement. Rah, rah, rah. I don't like Elon Musk. Let's trash Teslas. You fucking stupid bitches. What is wrong with you?
It's so crazy. I saw it. It's
crazy.
Ridiculous.
So if you and I can come to a place of truth, no matter how dark or how light it is. So the opposite problem exists. When you have success, people have also been taught when you have success, lie about it. Be embarrassed by it. Cover your light.
Why do you think it's that? That's a big thing that a lot of people, especially, here, that's what I found out. When you live in Miami, it's so crazy. You want to show the success. You want to show what you got. You want to show the jets, whatever the heck you have. But, you go to Nebraska, you go to those places, you, just like you mentioned, you want to start hiding it. Why do you think it's like that? Why do you think like a lot of people just don't want to show their success?
Because we want to lie. When we're failing, we want to hide it. When we're succeeding, we want to hide it. If we're failing, we want to pretend that we're succeeding. So we rent the car and we take the pictures. We rent the jet and we take the pictures, trying to allude to the world that I am something that I am not. The minute a man comes to the truth of what he is, hey, I drive a Honda Prelude. I'm hustling my ass off. I'm going to get the Bugatti. I'm going to get the jet. I'm going to get there. But right now, here's where I'm at. I'm in a Honda. I like my Honda Prelude. It's great. That was the first brand new car I bought, was a Honda Prelude. Oh. Two-door, white. I fucking love that car. Put a sub in the back when subs were a thing. The whole bucket trunk was a sub. We fit 6 dudes in this Prelude. It's only 2 seats. I still don't know how the fuck we did this. The squirrels was all in there like circus animals, just like all circus clowns, all in the Prelude. Big sub in the back going so loud, right on the license plate. I love that car. And that's not the kind of car I drive now. But when I started to own where I was, and I owned where I was when I had nothing again, and the only thing I had to offer was truth. I couldn't give you money, didn't have any. Couldn't give you networks, didn't have any. Couldn't even present my wife who loved me because I didn't have one. She was angry, she was pissed, she should have been. She wanted to leave me, and if she was more powerful and had money like she does now, she'd have left me. But she didn't. She was in her late 20s, she was scared, she had 2 kids, she didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. We were young. We were fucking in a horrible situation, and the only thing I had to offer the world was truth.
So Garrett, I want to ask you question here. So you mentioned, obviously, you guys went through hard times, right? But you also built on top of it together. What would you tell the men out there, looking at relationship? They want to get into relationship. Like they live here, they live in Miami. And we know this place is so hard. What would you tell the men out there in terms of building a relationship? Is it, let's say they are successful. Should they go to the successful, like the models and this and that? I know they have like high standards, but I feel like it's so hard, because the women out there today, they want so much from you, and they look at you like, just like you mentioned one day, as an ATM machine, and it's really like that. So what our generation, what like the young people, what would you tell them they need to do in order to build a relationship? Do they need to find a girl that don't have anything and to build on top of it, or somebody that have a lot of money? What would you do?
Well, number one, you guys are in a very different situation than when I was dating. So I've been married for 21, almost 22 years. I've been with the same one for 23 years. So when I look at my guys who get divorced and are now operating in the single scene, or I see young guys that are dating right now, the common thing exists. You can build a relationship based on fiction, or you can build a relationship based on the facts. This means that I have to own the full truth of what I am. Most people when they're dating will hide pieces of who they are to impress the person they're dating, or trying to make themselves be something they are not so they can get the person they are trying to be with. The only challenge is that erodes over time, which means you're going to get to a place where you can't hide anymore. It's like having a grapefruit shoved up your ass. You got a grapefruit shoved up your ass, you can pretend like you're good. You're going to waddle around, pretend like it's not there, but eventually it's going to hurt bad enough that you're going to shit that grapefruit out. Everyone's going to see the shitty grapefruit now on the floor. Like, you can't hide it. Your full truth will become exposed. That's why beginning relationships are so cool. Affairs are so cool, because you have this illusion. You have goggles on. You have filters. It's like drunken love. For young guys, is you get whipped and controlled by pussy. All of them. I've watched my son go through it. He's 25, going on 26. I've watched young men get controlled by pussy. If you are controlled by pussy, you're controlled by women. If you're only controlled by the head on the lower part of your body, if your dick runs your destiny, you're in trouble. So then you say, okay, well, how about my head? Should I think my way there? No. There is a piece inside here. Both your heads are fucked up. This one thinks stupid shit. This one wants to fuck everything. So if we come to the middle, we say, okay, what's the middle ground? Do I know who I am? Trying to be in a relationship with anyone, not knowing who you are, is a problem. Because you're going to reveal yourself as time goes on. You're like, well, I'm always revealing myself, so I'll never be with anyone. No, you need to find a woman who's willing to grow with you. A woman who's committed to growing. Particularly for the young, hungry entrepreneur males. You can go to Club 11 here in Miami. You can go pick yourself up a hottie with a body. You can go buy pussy every day here. You can go for not too much either. A couple $1,000, you got yourself a good time. You're good to go. Plenty of girls ready to service you with hot bodies, nice tits, fine little BBL asses. You're going to be taken care of. You'll fuck all right. And the next morning, you're still going to wake up, look in the mirror, and know you're still you. You're going to know you paid for it. You're going to know that girl was only after one thing. She was only after your money. She was only after that. And then you get to this trap in yourself. It all comes to an end.
Wow.
I was sitting on a panel of girls who were OnlyFans girls or strippers in Vegas. We were on the Vegas live show. And I was listening to these girls talking, and you could see it. In their 20s, they're all happy to be OnlyFans girls and fucking around and doing all the things. But then the ones that were 31, 32, 33 started to settle into a reality of, I just spent 10 years of my life fucking around. And what I really want is safety and security. But now I've used my body and used my life so much that I've fucked myself up. It's not that you can't course correct. It's that most young people are wasting 10 years of their lives. Now here in Miami, we have a lot of young entrepreneur men who want to do it right.
But they have no guidance. I feel like they're getting lost there.
This is where men like me come in. This is why this young group of men are now being drawn to the warrior message at numbers that I could not have anticipated. Because I didn't anticipate there'd be so many powerful young men like yourself who are actually committed to creating great lives. And so you're entering this cesspool of sexuality, drugs, and false illusion appearing real.
Yep.
Fantasy. You've also been trapped because at your age, none of us expected to have jets and yachts. At my age, 21, 23, how old are you?
I'll be 23.
23. So we're almost 23 years old. At 23, the last thing I was fucking thinking about was 200-foot yachts. Last thing I was worried about, I'd never even seen a fucking jet. I'd barely even gone on a plane 3 times. The world I grew up in without social media, without cell phones, and without all the comparisons. So the great part for you guys is the fact that you get contrast globally. See, when I grew up, it was like, who's the hot girl in your high school? And maybe you knew a hot girl from another high school. You maybe knew 6 hot girls. You can go on your phone right now and see 7,000 hot asses all over the globe. Russian girls, Ukrainian girls, Persian girls, Latin girls, every fucking hot girl under the sun. So they're all creating a contrast. You're seeing Bugattis and Ferraris. That is a very small percentage of producers. And so you see those 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 that are making the billions, they're making the big money at 23. 99% of the men are not doing this.
But why is our mind is so focused on that 1%? We want it like tomorrow.
Of course. So the beauty of it is you guys are hustling sooner. You even have it as an idea. Like my children have been raised in wealth. So my 4 daughters are like raised in wealth. They experience wealth. They live at a higher standard of life. So their expectations for life are bigger. My 18-year-old moves into an apartment complex down in her first condo today here in Miami. Moving out, doing her own thing. She's moving into like a place I would have liked to have lived when I was like in my 30s. She's 18. Standards real high. So her expectations are right. This is a gift and a curse. It's a gift because now she's going to pursue for something even bigger. The curse is she's never had to grind and suffer in trailer parks with cornbread and powdered milk, and the suffering hasn't been there. So the expectation is married up to this idea that I can have this without work and that I can have it now. I want it now. I want the girl now. I want the money now. I want the jet now.
The question is, so are they understand it's because obviously your help and everything, or they understand that, like what is their understanding in those situations?
Well, she's about to understand. She's about to understand. When she moves into an apartment complex where the qualification to get in is $17,000 to $20,000 a month in income, and she's 18 and does not make that, and her father has to qualify her to get into the apartment, that was the standard to get into this place. I thought they were fucking kidding. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? This is a $3,500 a month place. Like, how the hell they need $20,000 a month in income verification? Then I called them like, what the fuck? They're like, hey, we're trying to get rid. We only want producers in this place or children of producers. Because we have a specific environment we're creating here that's based on arts and education and entrepreneurism and creativity. We don't want people who can barely scrape to get in here. So they're going to have parents that can back them, or they need to be entrepreneurs who can produce themselves when they're young. So the whole building's filled with artists and entrepreneurs. We put her there on purpose. But you look at that, she doesn't have a comprehension. She's about to, because she's going to have to pay for her car, her cell phone, and her condo. She's got to pay for everything else. Be like, what else is she going to pay for? For the first time in her life, she's going to have a harsh reality hit her. My son went through this. My son ended up moving out of town. He had been living under the wake with us after he came back in my life at 16. And then I fired him. And I said, you're done. Bye-bye. You need to go experience life. You're taking this all for granted. You think that you're entitled to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You don't work like a guy that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You're not well. No.
Wow.
Get the fuck out. You're fired. So he moves to Houston, and without us knowing, he's sitting in a situation having to steal food out of Target because they have no money. Utilities are shut off. Condos shut. They have no utilities. They have no working water. And he's experiencing suffering. And it was only after he experienced suffering that he could respect what I had built and respect the opportunities he had with me.
So we both been to the GrowthCon, right? And I want to ask you, because I feel like it's going to help a lot of adults out here. We saw how Grant was with his kids, right? How he's like teaching them, showing them the path. What is your take? Do you think adults, like parents out there, need to give to their parents? Like, I'm trying to find the balance, like one day I'll have my family. Like, I'm trying to see, obviously I want to be successful and have a lot of money, but what is the fine line? Or like, what is the amount that you need to give them or you don't need to give them? Like, how do you see it?
It's all different, man. Every parent's different. Every kid's different. Everybody's
Even every kid is different.
Every kid's different.
Wow.
So I have 5 children. They're all totally different. They were emotionally different, mentally different. Their drive is different. And they all came out of my balls. All 5 of them came out. There was a moment where I got hard and ejaculated into my son's wife or son's mother. And I ejaculated 4 times into my wife. And somehow that sperm fought its way through, and one out of billions of these sperm, I don't know if it's billions, millions, however many it is, look that up on ChatGPT, swam to the promised land and strike, and a child was made. Same penis, same testicles, different sperm because it's a different time every load. So it's a different thing coming out, different egg every time. Same woman created 4 children. All 4 of these children are totally different. Why? Because inside all of us, though, we provide the physical shell to our children. Every child is God's. And God has a very unique thumbprint on every child. That's why our thumbprints, none of us have the same. That's crazy. Our eyes aren't even the same. That's why they can scan our shit at the airport. You can do a thumbprint, and there's no one in the world has a thumbprint like you. That's insanity. 8 billion people, nobody's got the same thumbprint. Well, God has created each of us as souls unique, just like this. We have a divine thumbprint in who we are. The only one that knows who we are and what we can become truly. It's not your parents. I'm a steward of my children until they're 18, then it's time to move.
You're big believer in that.
Yeah, you're 18, out of the house. Go live.
And you believe in like supporting them or sending them?
I'll support her. I'm paying for a condo, a car, or a cell phone. Everything else she's on her own. She's going to pay for her food, her shopping. No more Uber Eats in on my cards. No more fucking spending my money shopping. You want to go buy shoes? You go buy them. She bought her first pair of red bottoms. And like, my wife buys fucking truckloads of red bottoms. I think red bottoms are the most uncomfortable piece of shit shoes on the planet. But my wife likes them. She's okay to suffer to look beautiful. She bought me a few pairs. Fuck you. I'm not wearing no shoes. They suck. I'm going to wear Nikes. That's it. So my daughter goes to buy these shoes with her own money from her work. She'd gotten them before because my wife pays for them, which is fine. I'm okay with it. She goes to buy them, and I looked her in the eyes. And I said, this moment will change you forever. You're about to make a decision to purchase a high-valued shoe for yourself with your money. You know your dad could easily buy this for you, but I'm not going to buy it. You're going to buy this shoe for yourself. So she did. The next day, she's going on a flight to California to visit her boyfriend. And she's at the JetBlue at the airport of Fort Lauderdale, and they have an opportunity to upgrade to Mint, which is lay-down beds. It was like $350. My daughter was really tired, and she was like feeling kind of sick. And she calls me. She's like, Dad, this is the day after she bought the red bottoms. I was like, she's like, what do you think I should do? I said, what do you think you're worth?
Wow.
What do you think you're worth? She's like, well, I said, how much money do you have? She's like, I got about $2,500. I was like, okay. So are you worth an extra $300? I already paid for your ticket, but I'm not going to pay for your upgrade. So if you feel you're worth more than $300 and you'd like to comfortably experience recovery and sleep well on the flight so you can be refreshed for your boyfriend, then you should probably do it. If you don't feel like you're worth it, then don't do it. But I can't determine whether you are or not. She made the decision to buy Mint. She flew across the country. She's totally changed. Her mindset around it because she had to do it with her own money. She got to make the decision to value herself.
If you were to give her that money, there's no way she'd learn that lesson.
Not at all.
Ever.
I know, because we've already paid for it. We stopped taking our kids to 5-star resorts. I won't take them.
Not anymore.
No. They go to the all-inclusive. We have credits at some places. We take our kids to all-inclusives, middle of the road with middle-of-the-road people, and we get to experience it. It's a total downgrade for me and my wife, but we do it because the little kids don't give a shit what they're eating. They're going to order a $200 meal. They're going to, I hate it. Give me nuggets and mac and cheese. So we're like, okay. But my daughters didn't appreciate it. They bitched and moaned about being in 5-star resorts that are like $5,000 a room a night. And she's like, rah, rah, rah. And I looked at my wife and I said, I'm done with this shit. No more.
Wow.
No more. I'm not going to allow. We are going to stay in these places. We're not taking them. We're not taking them on jets anymore. We're not taking them in first class. We fly first class. Kids are in the back. And they'll walk right by us and we'll be like, have fun. You're welcome. You're going to get to the same place we're going.
So that's those strategies to kind of implement in young age to really not
But it's different. Like Grant and Elena raise their children different than we do. Our house, everything's free to be spoken about. My 3-year-old's favorite word is motherfucker. People like, that's bad. I said, no. I've exposed my children to darkness from the time they were little. So they're not surprise attacked when they get out into the world. That's why I have no fear. People are like, she's 18. She's moved downtown Miami. She'd be right off of Brickell. What are you doing? Are you crazy? I was like, no, I'm worried about any dude that tries to mess with my daughter. She'll fucking stab him in the neck because she's not even Colombian. Like she's lethal. When she has to be, she's lethal. Why? Because we've lived an open life with our children. Open conversations about sexuality, open conversations about language. I don't try to, if my wife and I are getting in a fight, we'll fight right in front of the kids. Some people don't. They'll go to the room and they fight.
Most of the people probably don't.
And we live life in front of our kids because life is what we're here to live.
Why do you think there's a lot of parents out there who like afraid? They will not talk about sexuality near their kids. They will not talk about, the stuff. Even the kids will not be, confident to talk to their fathers about those stuff. Like they will never talk to their father about sex. They will never talk about, those stuff, how to curse, how to get with the girl, like all those stuff. It's just like.
Parents have been taught to be this way. Their parents did it and their grandparents did it. We as a society have not lived in the truth. It's why we have all the problems we have. We hide from darkness. And yet right now we're watching in our country as a group of men take over the presidency of this country with Trump and the rest of his crew, and they're exposing all of the shit that's been hidden. And every week, new shit that we all knew was happening, but we ignored it. It's like dudes will come to me. My wife's been cheating on me. She had an affair. Da-da-da-da. She's been doing this for like 6 years. I say, okay, so let's pause real quick. Either you're fucking retarded or you're just numb and dumb. Wow. No dude gets cheated on for 6 years and doesn't know. You have a conscience and a soul. The minute another man was putting his penis in your wife's vagina and she was blowing this dude while tingling his balls, when this shit was happening, there's a piece of you that knows. That's how disconnected you were from this woman. Because a connected man knows when shit is going sideways. He knows and anticipates it before it comes. He can sense the vibrational shift in his woman. He can sense it in his children. He knows things are off before anything manifests as off. He knows the energy is off. But most men lie. And because they lie, they cut themselves off from God. When they cut themselves off from God, they desperately fall into the pit of poverty. And in poverty, the only thing you can see is fear, doubt, worry, guilt, and shame. And then we do the worst. We try to lie on top of our lies. We hide.
Why do you think, well, first of all, I love that. Why do you think there's a lot of men that, not feeling confident, even though they achieved a lot of stuff, they're still not lacking in confidence? What is the lack of confidence come from?
They build for the wrong reasons. They build for the wrong reasons. So I had pursued in Warrior for 9 years this idea of having it all. What did this mean to us? Weaponized body, certainty in self, being, communication, sex, and intimacy, fluid and natural with your wife, leadership, spiritual with your children, and a ton of money. So we knew we had to wake up and have it all. That was our plan. Wake up, tell the truth, and go pursue having it all. We had a science for this. But I got there to the $28 million house and the supercars in the garage, and sex was on fire with my wife, and I had the fit body, and I had the things, and I still felt lost.
Why is that?
I had a hole in my soul. A hole that could only be filled with God.
Even though you had the money, you had the cars, you have every dream out there for a man.
Beyond anything I could have ever imagined for my life. And I still felt hollow. And this is the pattern for all men. This is why they try to fill it with women. They try to fill it with money. They try to fill it with drugs. They try to fill it with parties.
What is it? What is that hole? Like, what would you felt in that time?
I felt hollow. I felt empty. Even though I had everything. But I didn't have everything. And so 3.5 years ago, God came into my life in a real powerful way. And for the first time, I started to have eyes to see and ears to hear. And I could feel life again. But I was still trying to figure out what that meant. It took the shock from my wife 2.5 years ago when she came to me, put her hand on my chest, and said, I can't feel you. And if I can't feel you, I'm too high valued a woman to be here. My mind has already started wandering, thinking about fucking other men. Men who will see me and value me for who I am. I don't give a fuck about this house, the cars, anything. I make my own money. I'll go build a smaller life if I have to. But what I won't do is continue in this relationship and not be able to feel you. The reason you couldn't feel me is because I couldn't feel myself. Even amidst all the things I created, I still couldn't feel me. I couldn't feel this truth inside of me, that I was not here to have shit. I was here to grow. I was here to expand. The only reason that a man should pursue more money is so he can understand the truth of who he is. The reason why you've got to become wealthy and make millions of dollars and tens of millions of dollars is not because tens of millions of dollars will radically change things. It doesn't. At a certain level with economics, your lifestyle doesn't change. What changes is the hotels you stay in, the types of travel that you take, the vehicles swap out. There's only so many fucking cars. You can have Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and Bugattis, and at the end, you're just swapping labels. It doesn't feel much different driving a car. And so if there's not a piece in this that I'm creating because I'm interested in one thing, I'm interested in who the man is that can walk into a Bugatti dealership, buy a $5 million car because I can. Who is that guy? What has that guy figured out about life? What has he figured out about value creation and money? What's he figured out about marketing and sales and leadership of people and teams? What's he figured out about creating value for the marketplace? I want to know who that guy is. So I make tens of millions of dollars, but I want to be a billionaire. People are like, why you want to be a billionaire? My life's not going to change much. I live a fat life right now. I live in a beautiful home in Golden Beach. I live in an intercoastal. I fucking drive the cars I want to drive. I go to the place I want to go. I travel all the time. I make a huge impact on the world. I do the things. But the thing that drives me isn't money. The thing that drives me is becoming that man. This guy right here, I was 190 pounds 2 years ago. I surfed all the time. I didn't lift weights. I didn't care. I put 37 pounds on. Why? Because in a psychedelic journey, I saw a version of myself that was massive. And the number that was given to me was 250. I was 190 at the time.
Just so you guys understand, when I told you that I saw you at Russell Brunson in the video, man, I look at it and I'm like, bro, is that Garrett?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like, is that who I'm seeing? Like, I was trying to see. Like, I didn't saw the tattoos there.
Yeah.
I saw like you were a lot more skinny.
Way more skinny.
And I'm like, I looked at my phone at the picture that we did, and I'm like, kind of look like the same. You know what I mean? With the beard, I kind of realized.
Yeah, it's different. Well, listen, I have students now that go back and watch content from 2 years ago, and then they'll say, "Coach, living by code," and I watch the bubbles happen on the text, and I know what's coming next.
Is that you?
You kind of, I'm watching the content from the Soul Purpose Intensive that you shot like 4 years ago, and you kind of look like a skinny bitch. Now, I didn't feel like a skinny bitch at the time. I was surfing big waves and having a great time, and being big like this is a death trap when surfing. I just surfed. I love surfing and care. But I saw a version of myself, and I wanted to know what it felt like to be 250 pounds. I'm not 250 pounds yet. I'm just under 230 at roughly 9% body fat. I will be 250 pounds. I will walk in as a scary fucking physical beast.
By 50 years old.
While I'm 50, I'll be 250 at 50. And I'll be walking around my birthday party on with just a Speedo on. That's it. Just fucking spray tanned out, jacked and juicy and ready to go at 50. Why? Because I can. It's not because I'm trying to impress anybody. It's because there's a version of me. I want you to know what it takes to create that man. Do I have the discipline to eat right, run my gear right, train every single day? People think you can just take testosterone and get big. Bullshit. You have to train your ass off, eat correctly, sleep correctly, train correctly. You have to work your fucking ass off to get this big. That's why I'm at a plateau right now. To get to another 20 pounds is going to take a Herculean effort to pull off. And yet, at the same time, I had a marriage where I was sexless. We were not connected. We were disconnected. And I created a vision. I said, I want a woman in my life who's like a stripper for me in my house, who we create sexual experiences together that are normal, natural, where it doesn't feel weird. There's no friction, nothing.
Garrett, how do you keep that? How do you keep that over the years? Like how people keep that? You know, I see a lot of, you look at the stats, I mean, for the divorces, it's
very high.
Through the roof.
Through the roof.
Because I think there's people, a lot of them lacking in it. Like how do they keep that over the years? I mean, it's crazy because most of them are 20, 30 years, like you said. How can they keep, you know, being attracted to each other?
You have to die and be reborn. I'm not married to the same woman I've been with. We've spiritually been divorced 15 times, meaning she's not the same. My woman right now, 5 years ago, couldn't hold a microphone in front of an audience without like having to take 3 shots of tequila, and she would be anxious and nervous the whole time. Now, this woman will stand in front of 5,000 people and burn the fucking room to the ground. I saw that in her. I knew she had it in her. And I pulled her to that place. I knew she could do it. I forced her to run some podcasts with me. I got her on the microphones. I said, you can be more. You can do this. But if my wife never chose to grow, if she didn't choose to take on bikini competitions and perform after she had 4 different children, gave pregnant 6 times, and then weaponized her body to be sexy, lean, shredded, and fit, she chose that for herself. So I'm not married to the same woman I was with 5 years ago. I'm not married to the same woman I was a year ago. The challenge with monogamous relationships is the fact that we are constantly growing, and that means you constantly are having to meet and fall in love again with the person that you have been with. But what people do is they get to a place where one of them grows, the other one doesn't, and this puts tension. And if the other one doesn't grow, the only choice this one has is to return back to where they were, or to continue to grow, snap the cord of connection, get divorced, and move on and find another person who's willing to grow.
So it's about growing.
Yes.
Wow.
This is why you have so many couples. They don't talk about how many unhappy couples there are that are still married. They just talk about the divorce rates. If they went further down the path and actually talked about how many people are actually in love with each other and passionately on fire in marriage, you're talking about less than 5% of the people married, which builds a really interesting case for single people. Why the fuck get married? Because the 5% that have pulled this off live supernatural lives. Supernatural.
What do you think about people that, you know, in your way from like kind of your experience in your life, where do you see men's doing a lot of mistakes? Like, what is
Lying.
the biggest mistake? Lying is
Lying.
saying.
I keep coming back to the same answer. It's lying. So in order to build anything new, you have to be honest about where you are. We understand this when it comes to iMaps on our iPhones. We understand this with Uber. Uber asks you, you say, I'll call it Uber. Uber immediately locates where you are. And then you have to put it at a destination where you want to go. Everybody's trying to go fucking somewhere, but they don't know where the fuck they are. So they're just opening up Uber and putting in the location they desire to be, but no pickup location. And then wondering why they're standing out there with their dick in their hands and no car showing up. No car showing up because it doesn't know where the fuck you're at. You want to go someplace, but you can't own where you are. You're in a shitty situation, own it. I'm in a shitty situation, and I did this to myself. You're in a marriage that's not working? Guess what, gentlemen? It's your fault, not your wife. Because guess what? She'll leave that relationship with you. She'll get shredded, go to the gym, and go find a dude that will fuck the shit out of her. And you were that guy that wanted to be that guy, but you couldn't be that guy because you couldn't lead her. But because you can't lead yourself. If you strip everything down, this is why dudes come to my world. This is why we're running Man in the Arena tour, our big event coming up May 17th.
Talk to us about that too.
Well, all of these things we've been doing at Warrior have been about one thing. Getting men to truth, connecting them to God, and letting God show them the vision of the next version of who they are. And then guiding them with our tools to rip apart everything that is not that to get them to arrive at this new place. Once they arrive there, they enjoy it. But the problem is, once you make your first 100,000, you're like, whoa. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I made 100,000. What the fuck?
Let's buy a Rolly.
Yes. And then making 100,000 is normal. And then it's numb. And then it's boring. So we're like, oh, we're going to make 500,000. Then you get to 500,000. You're like, oh. And then you're like, it's 500,000. It's normal. Then it goes numb. And then we get bored. And then we either burn it down or we recalibrate and we set a new target and we go. This never ends. Our systems inside of Warrior and what we're teaching at Wake Up Warrior and what we're doing in the Man Arena Tour is creating an environment for guys to come for a day with us and spend 12 hours with us and the top 10 movement makers in the space who lead men and have been for over a decade, just like me, and weaponizing with the tools to recreate their life over and over again. God built us to eternally expand, not just in this life and beyond. We will never stop expanding. Our souls are contained in these bodies. Our minds are the greatest limiters of what our soul's capabilities are here. We were put to spiritually create in a physical world, to learn how to take unseen ideas and turn them into reality, how to take disconnected places and make them connected. How do I take my ideas, these visions I have, and create them here? But I can't take those visions and create. Like some will say, I want to make 8 figures. You're like, cool, how much did you make last year? 125,000. Well, you're not going to do that in a year. Why not? I see people all over the Instagram. No, shut the fuck up. You don't have skills in marketing, skills in sales, skills in leadership. You don't understand the first thing about systems fulfillment, processes, optics, and people. You don't fuck all about accounting, taxes, legal, and cash management. Once you start making money, you're going to get sued all the time. I got sued again yesterday for no fucking reason. There's big responsibility that comes with big money. People want to take it. They want to steal from you, loot from you, lie about you. They want to cheat on you, betray you, and steal from you. So there's a whole world waiting. And if the destination is just about having shit, it doesn't matter. Then it's never really that fun. But when I start to create from a place of desire to see myself, and this is why events like Man in the Arena Tour are so important, because they're a place where a guy can come. He can spend a day with us, 3 weeks of preparation, blacked out in his uniform of Warrior and the Man in the Arena, enter the arena with 7,000 other men and have an experience that is supernatural. It's not motivational. It's not hypey. It's truth. And inside truth, God enters that arena and men have an opportunity to see themselves for what they actually are. And once a man has seen himself for what he actually is, he will look back at the life he's living and realize he has tolerated being king of the shitheads. And once you recognize that you have become king of the shitheads, there's only 2 choices. Drink yourself into a slumber and pretend you're actually a king and not king of the shitheads, or take off your shithead crown and actually pursue a legitimate kingdom.
Man, this is Garrett White here, man. This is not just a random guy speaking. So I hope you guys take some notes. Garrett, I want to ask you kind of a personal question. So looking back at your life, man, if you take a second to take a moment to look back at your life, what is your biggest challenge and what is your biggest mistake in your life? And Do you think that mistake led you to greatness in your life that you have today?
For sure. Two things. One, lying. I know you're getting bored of that answer. Lying and not associating with powerful men. Having the box of mirrors, powerful men wrapped around me that could shine truth back to me. Men that wouldn't judge me, men that would just hear me, and men that would guide me, kick me in the dick when I needed it, guide me when I needed it, hug me when I needed it, encourage me when I did, kick my ass when I needed it. Those two things. Learn to tell the truth. If I'd done this when I was young, I wouldn't have got myself into a fuck ton of the problems I got myself into. I knew inside what I was doing wasn't right. I just didn't know how to do it different. And second, I wasn't associated with men who were of high caliber and high value, men who lived in integrity and honesty. And because I didn't have those two things, I was lost and alone. And most dudes are lost and alone. My empire would be 100 times bigger than it is right now had I had those two things at your age.
Wow. How important it is in your life was to surround yourself with men, like successful individuals?
Impossible to grow to your capacity and what your potential is without it.
Wow.
You have to surround yourself with men that you are leading, and you have to surround yourself with men who are leading you. That means you have to learn how to follow, and you have to learn how to lead.
So back in that day when you lost, like how did you, like what was kind of like your first, I guess, initials? What would you did first to surround yourself with people? Like let's say there's people that are out there lost and they want to get to be around you and they want to do great things. What would you tell them?
One, books. Podcast. You guys have content available to you now. We never had. We had to read books. So content is very important. What you put in your mind every single day. Second piece is buy your way into the room.
Don't be afraid to spend.
Buy your way into the room. You want to be around these people? Stop begging for their attention on social media. Stop making all the fucking comments in their feed. I don't respond to those guys. Buy your way into the fucking room. Come to Man in the Arena. Get yourself in the arena. In the world of this, the people that are going to guide you with the most power aren't the people going to show up for you for free. Because what they have to offer you isn't valuable. Buy your way into the room. You want to be around certain men? Buy your way into the mastermind. Buy your way into that coach. Buy yourself into that network. If you don't have the money, then buy what you can to get there. Whether you can. That's why Man in the Arena Tour, we have tickets that are like $197, clear down to $5,000. There's no excuse for a guy who can't be in a room. There's going to be dudes in the stands and there's going to be dudes on the floor. Great. At least you're in the fucking arena and you got a chance. Because I started in the stands and I started outside the arena. And I bought the cheap seat because it was expensive to me. That's all I had. I had the $197. That was it. And then it became different. Then it was $25,000 and $100,000. Now it's $2 million to get into the room for me. And that was the last room I got into. $2 million in. You don't have $2 million, you don't come in. Okay, great. I can either take 5 years to figure this out or I can pay $2 million and go straight to the heartbeat. I'd rather go straight to the heartbeat. So whatever level is, you have to understand you're not going to get a free ticket here. No one's getting a free ticket. The greatest producers understand there's a pay-to-play game here. You want to play? Pay. Why? Because the people that are mentoring and guide you paid a massive fucking price to become who they are. And they're saying, don't fucking waste my time. Because the number of people you give free counsel to and advice that don't do shit is 99%. People who don't pay attention. They just ask for more. They don't do shit. They don't listen to shit. And then they get stuck in Instagram reels and looking at asses and titties on the TikTok. Next thing you know, they're watching OnlyFans every night. You're like, see what I was talking about, you shithead? I told you, pay to play so you pay attention. The payment is not about the person you're paying. It's about you paying attention. And guys follow where their money goes. They don't follow much else. They follow where the honey is and where the money is.
Fuck, man. Some great notes for you guys, man. I hope you guys...
By the way, that didn't mean go buy honey.
Garrett,
you can. And by the way, it'll be cheaper than having a wife. Much cheaper. You're not going to be as happy, but you'll be happy for a minute.
Garrett, what's next for you, brother? What's next for you? Where do you see yourself in the next year?
Big thing is Man Arena Tour. That's our big thing right now. Like, we're going to take this global. So we're going to do 3 events in 2025. We're going to do 12 in 2026. And we're going to do stadium events in 2027. Last time this was done was some Promise Keepers back in 1990s. They filled stadiums of men. They did a 1 million man march in Washington, D.C. We will be global and 100 times bigger than that movement. We're born in a different age, led by men like me, men who are almost in their 50s, early 50s, late 40s, leading a generation of young men to revolution.
Wow. So Garrett, that moment when you decided to build Warrior, that moment that was your moment when you decided, I guess that was the solution to your hole that you had the other day?
I solved my problem, and then I showed other men how to solve the same problems they had. So Warrior was built to save me. I didn't build Warrior. I had no plans on teaching other people this. I built it to set my life free. And when it worked for me, I shared it with other people.
What do you see the people that come and want to be part of your community? What do you see their struggle is, other than marriage, other than, being not in shape? What is some other stuff you see in people?
Uh-oh, here it comes again. You ready? They fucking lie.
Wow.
The first thing we start with every man is get him to be comfortable in the baptism of truth. If he cannot be committed in truth, if he cannot stand in the pit of his own darkness and bullshit and own all of it, fuck off. There's no future for this guy. But a man that can own all of what his truth is, no matter how ugly it is, no matter how brilliant it is, he has to own all of it. The great shit he's done and the stupid shit he's done. If I can get a man of any age to own that truth, that man can build an empire of life. Because addicted to that foundational truth means that he rests his foundation of his creation upon the divine hand of God. And there are no limits in creation in this place with God as your co-creator and mentor. Without God and without your co-creative power from God, you will be limited in your creations and find yourself distracted and stuck in the karmic cul-de-sac of insanity that always spirals down into depression, darkness, into frustration, guilt, and shame and fear.
What would you tell to the people that are currently going through mad depression, crazy depression?
Work. Work.
Doesn't matter what.
Men feel depressed because they lie and they're off purpose. The fastest way to get there, tell the truth and start working. Fucking move. Don't sit, feel sorry for yourself, find yourself in the spiral death trap of porn, find yourself smoking blunts every night. Move, build something, create, sell, go, move. Stop sitting here. You're sitting here, the more you sit here, the more depressed you get. Fucking work out, move, go do something, go, get your engine started again, move. You don't need pills, you don't need drugs, fucking move. We're sitting in a generation of people with more anxiety and more depression, women and men, than we've ever had because we have more people living in lies and no purpose. Their purpose is sex and money, and it never satisfies. They've lost God, they've lost themselves, they've lost the purpose of this life, they've lost why they have the creative powers, so they're depressed. Of course you're depressed. Your soul's fucking dying, trapped in this meat suit on this planet that you're supposed to create with God in abundance, and you're trapped feeling sorry for yourself with dick in hand, wondering what's wrong with my life. What's wrong with your life is you're fucking sitting. Move. If you don't like what you're building, build something else. Your 20s are not about being rich. Your 20s are about building a foundation for power to build an empire. Empires are not built in their 20s. There's one or two or three handful of examples of this. And these young men, when they build wealth that fast, have no fucking foundation. Wow. None. They've gained wealth that surpasses the capacity of their soul. That's why you watch them implode. This is why no matter how much money they get, it's a torturous experience to be that successful financially at a young age. Because where the fuck are you going to go next? People that create that fast spiral into depression. I know more wealthy, depressed people than I do broke people. I know happier people who make $40,000 to $70,000 a year who feel they're on purpose than dudes I've been around that make hundreds of millions of dollars. Because when you can buy everything, you can buy every woman, you can buy the world, no one actually cares about you. Everyone wants something from you. Everyone uses you. I meet with these men on their yachts, in their jets, they come to my house. Depressed, alone, isolated, and trapped in the chaos of abundance. I can have everything, and yet I feel I have nothing. This is Justin Bieber. He created success at such a young age, yet he's gone through mental breakdown after breakdown, a divorce. Why? Because when you have success that young, you do not have the fortitude spiritually to maintain the pressure that comes with the wealth. And so you will lose it, destroy it, get lost in drugs, addiction, different women, trying to fill this hole that can never be filled because your physical world passed your spiritual capacity.
So you would tell to the young entrepreneurs to try their best to be successful fast, or like
I would say grow themselves from the inside out. The purpose is grow yourself. If you don't grow, you will never keep it.
Damn. That's
This
tough,
is a
man.
spiritual growth that comes with the physical growth. The minute this is off, and it works the other way, when you've spiritually grown yourself, but your physical world is poverty bullshit, this is why I make guys go buy cars. They've grown their capacity. They have the money, but they won't spend it. I'm like, why are you still flying an economy? Why are you still driving that piece of shit? You have the money. I know, but no, nothing. If you do not match your outer world with your inner world, you will find yourself in a depressed state. If you expand your outer world before your inner world grows with it, you will find yourself in a depressed state. Men get depressed at both ends. But if you can build in a harmonic way like a teeter-totter, boom, 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 life makes sense because the joy of this journey is the teeter-totter. It's the go, 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 go. Grow outside, grow inside, grow outside, grow inside, grow outside, so that when you get there, you always know you belong. I belong in this room because my inside matches my outside and my outside matches my inside.
Garrett, what would you tell to the audience, man, if you were to leave them with one thing? I know we spoke about a lot of stuff, man. I learned a lot. But what would you leave them?
Said two things. One, pick up the Warrior Book, warriorbook.com. This is a guide map that we've now perfected after 13 years. And two, get your ass to Man Arena. These two things. You get yourself into these environments, get access to this curriculum, get yourself in this environment, it's over. The man that you'll become with me, with my men, with the people we run with will be defy logic. Now, at that young age, you can create the foundation for an empire. And it doesn't mean you can't create wealth in your 20s. You can. But you better build it in a way that has you act like a man, not a fuckboy. Because fuckboys lose every time. Fuckboys are pussies hiding. They're not. I sat on a panel with all these OnlyFans and strippers and all these other dudes talking, and everybody's having these conversations. Or talk about the 1% high value man. He has all the women. All the women are looking to him, all looking to him. And I stopped the conversation. I said, no disrespect. When you talk about high value men, they are in two categories. You have fuckboys and you have kings. Fuckboys want to fuck all the girls. Kings want to build kingdoms with a queen. One woman, one commitment, one kingdom, one empire. So though they both are apparently high-value men, one are fuckboys who have a lot of money. They are the illusion of high-value man. Then there are kings who run this fucking country, run the globe. Kings are not down with this shit. Kings know the central focus on one woman is the unification of one flesh, activates the power of God, and in that power, empires are built. So while fuckboys brag about their cars and about 35 women they slept with last month and call themselves high-valued, in the lands of kings, these are nothing but fuckboy peasants to us.
Damn, Garrett. Man, what a
Well, you got
story.
some sound bites on this show, so we're good.
What a freaking story, man. So proud of you, brother. It's been amazing to host you on this podcast and
Got it, man.
learn from you. And how can they find you?
WakeUpWarrior.com, warriorbook.com, and maninthearenatour.com.
So guys, you hear it from Garrett. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you guys check him out. Give him a follow. This man definitely knows a lot about success, entrepreneurship, and how to get you to the next level. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a subscribe, give it a like, comment on this episode. Who should I interview next? And make sure you follow Tom Talk Success. We are on the platforms right now, and I'm looking forward to see you guys on the next episode.